One of the most common questions I'm getting from people these days when it comes to outfitting boats is, how do you make the foot room in a slicey boat more comfortable? So there are a couple different ways I do this in varying degrees of intensity, from pretty mild to pretty severe, but this is genuinely how I do it. I've pulled apart my favorite boat in the world that I've done. This is the boat that I've done everything to that I possibly can, and the one that started me down this journey. So here are my secrets. Let's start with the front pillar. One of the most common issues that people have is in old school boats that are high quality, there's actually a front pillar that goes all the way, gets super skinny, goes to the very front of the boat. This is amazing for safety, but one of the big issues is this leaves nowhere for your feet. So you wind up having to jam 1 foot on this side, 1 foot on this side, and you don't get to kick your feet in like that. What I do is I take my river shoes and I actually cut so that my heels fit underneath the pillar. This way my heels touch just like they would in my creek boat, and I'm able to be further up or further back, but either way I get that better ergonomics of my feet splayed out versus straight in, which I just find unbearable. The heel cut is going to come out of the back part of the front pillar here. Usually there's going to be a small gap, you know, maybe right here, and then this is going to dip down and come back out. With this heel cut made out here, the next step is going to be making sure that you can fit a full foam block in with the original pillar still in. This just takes time. What I usually do is look at the width of the foam pillar and start cutting out and shaving until everything sort of fits in. In a perfect world, what you do is you get this wedged into place in the pillar so that when this goes in, it goes in as one full unit, and it's locked in place and can't shimmy or come front or back or anything once it's in place and bolted up through the hole there. With this all in place, now you'll still have room if needed to put shims in here. In this case, where that wet spot is, I usually have shims so that my heels are engaged but my toes are completely flapping loose. Now, some of you may be thinking, I don't know, that block is super wide for a really slicey boat, and you're totally correct. The final step is, if all else fails, alter the hull of the boat. The key is to only deform the deck. You want to leave the hull exactly as it is and heat up the bow, push extra foam in, and start to deform. So let's have a look at mine. Right here you can see that I've popped this part of the hull. It's not much, it's only about 1/2 inch, but by doing that, this boat is far, far more comfortable, and I honestly don't really notice the difference in performance. Yes, I'm putting a pint or so of extra gallon way up here, so cartwheeling's a little harder, but you know what? Much easier for river running to have a bow that's a little bit drier. And because this had that divot in here with 2 leg pockets, there's plenty of plastic to push up and out of the way. And when in doubt, this is a way to get into a boat that you really want to enjoy, but maybe it's just not comfortable anymore. So here's a better look at what I'm talking about. Originally, this bump right here wouldn't be in the boat. By heating up the deck, pushing in the foam block with extra foam on top, I'm able to bump up right where I want it to and not deform the rest of the boat. So where the plastic is soft, it will move and reshape itself around the foam, and where the plastic is room temperature, it's going to stay in place and the foam is going to mold into it. It's not really an exact science. It's definitely got some risk to it, but when I have done it, it's been worth it. So would never do it to brand new boat, but to something that's old, cheap, and just a toy, why not? So there you go. That's my system. That's how I make everything fit. You're really, besides that, your only other option is to slide the seat back. Please don't ever paddle a boat with no front pillar in it. It is so important that you don't paddle a just Tupperware bin, you know, that'll fold on you. They can absolutely do that. Please just take your time. If you see someone paddling without a pillar, maybe talk to them, because that's a great way to break your ankles or get trapped in a pin.